Having played through and making videos on AstralShift's prior games, Little Goody Two Shoes and Pocket Mirror, I was understandably excited when I got the news that they were making a new game, Hell Maiden. Hell Maiden asked the question, what if Dante, but gay? Not in the gay cowboy kind of way, but this is AstralShift. You'd be a fool to think that they wouldn't make everyone a girl. Which, Hell Maiden isn't really what if Divine Comedy, since it's not actually reimagining, but instead acts as a sequel to it where Dante hadn't made it to Paradiso, but for some reason she finds herself back down in Hell. And then gameplay dropped and it was shown that this game was going for a horde survival deck building game. It's Vampire Survivors. It's just lesbian Vampire Survivors. And hey, I'm one of those sickos who got all the achievements in Vampire Survivors before more updates came out, added more shit and achievements, and now this is out of date. I should go back to that at some point. But before that, and more importantly, I've got Hell Maiden in front of me that I've been wanting to play for months, of which I was provided a code for the game by AstralShift for free. No exchange of money was made, and there was nothing dictating what I can or cannot say in my coverage on the game. These are in fact my genuine opinions, but do know that I did not have to pay for Hell Maiden. Thank you to AstralShift and to my supporters. If you liked the video, consider subscribing or even joining the Patreon, link on screen and in the description. If you do, you'll be thanked in videos, be able to watch each video a week early, as well as gain access to bonus videos. It's pretty fucking obvious that Vampire Survivors was the major influence on this game's genre and gameplay, with AstralShift putting their own spin on the formula. Because that, it's going to be difficult to not just reference and compare it to Vampire Survivors a lot. So I'm going to do just that. Each run in Hell Maiden is so much shorter, clocking into 12 minutes per run with the additional boss fight at the end, maybe also a mid-boss of the stage, got it? And because each run is so short, level ups are fast as fuck. Gotta squeeze in all the level ups in a much shorter amount of time, so you'll pick up like 5 experience gems and you'll already hit the next level. And the pace just kinda sticks to that speed. It's a lot faster of an experience. The enemies in Hell Maiden are also a hell of a lot more aggressive than the enemies in Vampire Survivors. They all charge the fuck out of you and are pretty fast, often faster than your default walking speed. They can and will swarm you if you're not constantly on the move. And they'll swing first, especially those werewolf dickheads in the first area Limbo. They will just swipe your shit first chance they get. A lot of other enemies will reach you and then wind up, but these fuckers will wind up on their way. They don't play around. The succubi in Area 2, Lust, are also real bastards because of the hearts they're firing off. They're way faster than you expect and can be difficult to deal with, especially when you're getting swarmed by the hearts. Lust's first half is pretty hard, not gonna lie. But to combat that added difficulty and aggression, Dante is a lot more agile and capable than the player character in Vampire Survivors. You got a dash button, a super, you can even aim your attacks? There's buttons now! Wow, control in this genre? Fucking crazy. Though I went to the options and turned that auto aim shit on, you can still manually aim whenever you want with the right stick, but I'd rather focus on movement most of the time anyway. I do like the increased speed and more aggression in this compared to Vampire Survivors. There is an appeal for a more active and hectic experience, and Hell Maiden definitely gravitates more in that direction than the more relaxed nature of Vampire Survivors. There's also only one playable character in Hell Maiden, that being Dante. You can change your starting weapon, but that's about it. Every character you unlock isn't actually unlocking playable characters. It's more like you're unlocking new weapons, a new super, and new cards to add to your deck to upgrading one during a level up. I would like an option at some point in this game to turn on and off decks that I've unlocked. It doesn't need to go as full on like Vampire Survivors where you can toggle each and every weapon and item you can get, but I would still appreciate a bit more customization on that front. There's also 2 types of level ups. Beatrice can come down and give a charm, which is just a buff to one of Dante's stats. But more importantly, the other kind of level up gives you cards that act as your weapons and passive items from Vampire Survivors. During a run, you've only got 4 weapons you can get at a time, and the passive items, called mod cards here, don't act as global modifiers to weapons like they do in Vampire Survivors. The mod cards instead affect only the weapon cards that it is attached to, with some exceptions. Like there's a card that says that the adjacent cards get an additional projectile, but otherwise if you put an attack speed card on a weapon, only that card will benefit from the greater attack speed. There's also mod cards that apply debuffs and damage over time effects, which Vampire Survivors doesn't have. You can weaken the enemy, slow them down, apply burning and poison, which you can apply both at the same time and stack that shit. It's pretty good to have on bosses. The coolest part about the damage over time mod cards is that they will also aesthetically modify a couple of your weapons as well. Like, if you apply poison to Dragon Breath, the flame will turn purple. Or if you add burn to Selenic Bloom, the ball will be red now. These are some fun little details that really help it make it feel like you're upgrading the weapons, even if it is just aesthetic. I would love to see more visual modifiers to weapons as the game gets developed further. During my runs in the first 2 areas in Hell Maiden, there wasn't a point in a run where I felt like I got to the point where I could just put down the controller and wait out the clock like I can in Vampire Survivors. I did end up feeling strong by the end of runs, but not unkillable. Hell, by the end of Lust, the screen was so flooded with shit it was genuinely difficult to see what was happening during the boss fight. That's a good thing, by the way. It was hilarious seeing, well, not seeing the screen. It is possible that when more gets added to the game that there might be some busted shit where you can get into that unkillable phase of a run, but I don't think that feeling is really needed here, especially since runs are so much shorter. While Hell Maiden very clearly takes after Vampire Survivors, it's also obvious that it does a lot differently. Not just mechanically, but also in game feel. The moment-to-moment feels different as it requires more focus and movement skill out of you. Though I do use Vampire Survivors as a point of reference, this is still a very different game. So, AstralShift is gonna AstralShift, and by that I mean have a fucking incredible style going on with this game. This shit is pretty to look at, and the music is solid so far. I'm excited to see what later areas are going to look like and hear what music those areas are going to have, including boss themes. But my god, they nailed the shit out of the designs of all the characters here. Dante's is so strong. She looks so cool. The hair, the dress, the accessories, those fumo-ass eyes she gets in that one expression, A+ right there. Artistry cooking with that. As said, everyone looks great. Like, Lady Coco's dress is sick. The evil hands clasping around her to form a dress is rad as hell. And Scarmagliona is so fucking cute.
I'm telling you, right here, right now!
Just the most adorable. I can't wait to see more characters in this game because that's straight up a highlight here. But for now, the game is in early access, and as of writing, this game dropped today for me. You've only got the 2 areas for now, Limbo and Lust, and you've only got a handful of the poets. If you've played the demo, it was only up until you unlocked Taurus. There's a little bit more than double of that now on launch. For one thing, you've got your permabuffs available now. I like that the refund is not a refund all, rather just a refund for the currently selected upgrade. I do think there should be a refund all button added at some point eventually. And the way that story progression works is that it requires repeat runs in an area to clear objectives before being able to continue. Which, I get it for story reasons, but I did have to clear Limbo 3 times before being allowed into Lust. Which, there is additional story each time you do a run. Like, Minos has new pre-boss dialogue and the poets will have new conversations in the forum. Hell Maiden doesn't have a more open structure like Vampire Survivors where there's the main objective and then unlocks scattered throughout a map that you can come back to. Nah, this shit has been linear so far, which is fine by me, honestly. I've no problem with linear games. But goddamn, 72 achievements already? That's quite a lot seeing as how only 2 of the 9 Circles of Hell are available. My guess is that only about 20% of the game is currently available on launch. How high is that achievement number going to hit as they add more? Makes me curious. But yeah, my estimate is that this is probably around 20% of the game currently. Maybe a bit less than that. The Steam page has it listed that the devs are going to take at least another year, probably more, for the game to exit early access and hit content complete, which they've already put out a roadmap to let you know what to expect as far as each major update, as well as what the total amount of content the game will have to offer when all's said and done. For $10, that's not a bad asking price during early access. A reminder, I didn't pay for that myself, receive for free, but I would have paid money for that and have been satisfied. It also helps that if I estimate that there's about 20% done right now and extrapolate from that, that's going to be quite a good bit of game for just $10. And a little heads up, the Steam page does say to expect a price increase at some point by full launch. Really liking Hell Maiden so far. I will absolutely be following this game's development, and will absolutely be making a follow-up video on this game once it comes out of early access. So expect in at least a year from now, more on Hell Maiden.